Welcome to my new series called A Man's Gotta Eat. Today, we're going to tackle the simple pot roast. No, I'm not going to use a slow cooker. Fuck that. First couple steps, obviously, I got my shit together. Carrot, a few mushrooms, potato, some shallots and garlic. Dried off the roast. Gonna go ahead and get a bunch of salt and pepper on each side of that roast. Get good and plenty of it on there. Before you cry about cross-contamination, all this shit's going in the same pot anyway. So, if it isn't getting together then, it will now. Just get a bunch on both sides there. Don't be cheap with it, because we need to get a good sear on this meat. You got plenty of salt and pepper on there. Gonna go ahead and turn over to our pan here. And as you can see, I got a good hot cast iron pan here. Just gonna go ahead and put a little bit of olive oil in there. That's important. You need to hear that sizzling coming out of that there pan. If there's no sizzling, there's no searing. Now, while searing does not hold in juices, I learned that watching Good Eats. It sure as hell does create flavor, and the whole point of doing this is to get better flavor. No offense to a slow cooker pot roast, but I can do better. A lot better. Well, unfortunately, one of the keys to a good sear is to just stand here and stare at it. And stare at it. Now the trick to a good sear is to not move the meat around too much. Also, you really can't get a good sear in a Teflon pan, but you can't put a Teflon pan in the oven, so you wouldn't be using one of those pieces of junk for this exercise anyway. In case I didn't mention it, we're going to move this pan straight from the stovetop into the oven, which is currently preheating to 325 degrees. Which seems to be a good temperature for chuck roast to go ahead and bake at. Chuck roast is actually a pretty good cut of meat. You just have to know how to work with it. Well, that's what this video is for. A million uses for this stuff when it's left over. You can make sandwiches, quesadillas, make an extra string grilled cheese, make some pasties, chop it up, put it in a salad so it doesn't feel like you're eating fucking rabbit food. You can make pulled barbecue beef sandwiches out of the rest of it, mix it with some homemade barbecue sauce, that'd be pretty good. But you do want to go ahead and sear all sides of this. And that is going to involve going ahead and holding the roast up on its end like that. Get those sides good and seared. We'll come back when the searing's done. And we are back. And that is what a properly seared roast looks like. Keys to a good sear. Keep the pan hot. It should be almost smoking like this. Don't move the meat too much. That sear happens with the contact between the hot surface and the meat remaining a constant. Don't fuck with it. You can flip it a few times, but just leave it the hell alone. Let it do its work. Now this is the really easy part. And take the various vegetables. You can put whatever the hell you want in here, really. I like to just put some tater, some carrot, some mushroom. Go ahead and take some fresh garlic, and some shallots, which is just a fancy little onion type deal. And then here's the key, a decent beer. This is a Capital Brewery IPA. If you live in some kennel that doesn't have good beer, or if you don't like beer, then use some red wine. That'll work too. Guess if you don't like alcohol in your house at all, you could use some chicken stock, I guess. Just put something flavored in there. Now, this is where it's going to get really difficult. I don't know if you guys can keep up with this. We're gonna put a lid on it, okay? We're gonna put it in the oven, all right? And we're gonna fuck off for an hour and 45 minutes. An hour and 45 minutes, check this shit out. we're gonna take it out of the oven, and it's all gonna be done. And you'll know it's done because I'll show you how it's done. Duh. Alright, so this here pot roast is done. The way we know this pot roast is done, go ahead and take 2 forks. It just fucking pulls apart. That is perfect. Now it's important to drain that liquid that's in that pan. Save it for some good drippings for something else, or making it a little bit of gravy right now with a milk-based product. Or, if you have some saved from last time, you can make gravy for this, whatever. I don't need gravy. I'm draining that shit out and saving it. I'm gonna eat it, because, as the title of this program goes, a man's gotta eat. We'll catch you next time, but I'm fucking hungry. Later, dudes.